seminars and classes, dealing with everything from, they had one yesterday with Russ Abbott, dealing with Procreate and some of his Procreate tricks and tips. Della Vica was on yesterday. Today, Hannah Wolf's going to do a presentation on basically like health and the science behind tattooing. A couple of people are doing some tattoo yoga classes. They've got a few chefs in there doing food presentation, some photographers on how to take better photos of your work. There are a few coming up that I'm really interested in. I might actually take some time off of work to attend. Guys like Aaron Delavindova, who owns and runs Guru, Adrian Dominic's doing an oil painting seminar. There are a ton. Bill Canales is doing a dragon study. I mean, just an absolute ton of super talented people that are going through and doing a whole bunch of different presentations and seminars that you can join for a very minimal cost. I think it's like
it's a benefit.
9 or 10 euros. And that goes straight to the food bank. All donations go straight there. And all you do is basically send him a receipt saying, hey, here's my receipt for the donation that I made. This is the seminar I would like to attend. And he'll send you a live Zoom link so that you can go through and join live and ask questions and interact with these guys and really take advantage of it. You know, it's just absolutely incredible. He even got guys like Joe Capobianco on board to go through and do an airbrushing seminar. Like I don't remember the last time that Joe Capobianco did a seminar. I think it was many, many years ago, from what I can remember of my knowledge of it, at least. But definitely highly encourage everyone to go through and do this. You know, they're not very long, and it goes to a great cause. You can donate as much or as little as you want. Like I said, I think the minimum is 9 euros. And they are awesome. The one with Russ Abbott yesterday that I attended was absolutely incredible. It's usually smaller groups of people, so it's very personal interaction. You can go through and ask them independent questions about anything that you have to do with that topic. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's absolutely incredible.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds pretty vision, man. That's a whole lot of information right there.
Right? So I'm actually attending the one with Hannah Wolf later today. And I know that he's still accepting like applications to attend these seminars and like donations for them and all that stuff pretty late. I think there were a few people that joined last minute yesterday. So he's pretty on top of it.
What time, do you know what time that is by any chance? I mean, I can jump on there after this, but I was just wondering from you.
I can find out for you real quick. It's Rome time. So it's CET, which is their Central European time zone. And the one with Hannah Wolf, I believe, is at, what was it, 6 p.m. CET. And that would be roughly about noon.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Yeah,
Thanks, Phil. That's incredible.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's for a great cause too. So it's like, okay, well, not only are you helping donate to a great cause, you're getting some great one-on-one time with world-class tattooers.
Yeah, you dropped all those names. They're all awesome tattoo artists, man. Incredible.
Yeah. Some of these guys I've been wanting to sit down and just listen to them talk and hear what they have to say about different topics for quite a while.
Aaron Deladova's he's so awesome. I've heard a couple interviews with him, and we've produced one or two, and he's great. He's got a really awesome messages and really great view on the way things are rolling, and as everybody, the whole lineup.
I'm actually also really interested to try to tune into Adrian Dominic's oil painting seminar and get a different perspective on that as well, because his work is incredible.
Oh yeah,
he's great.
There's a very like art influence kind of style to his art, to his tattoo work too, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
I was there when Adrian Dominic met Nick Baxter. It
Really?
was at a tattoo convention in, I want to say, Sacramento, California. I think my daughter must have been like months old, less than a year or two. So it was probably, 17-ish years ago.
Wow.
That was crazy. Yeah, it was a fun little bikery show, or not fun little bikery show. It was a bikery show, and I remember he tattooed him. Nick must have tattooed Adrian. I think he tattooed him in his chest, put a key on him or something. It was cool. It was fun. That was a long ass time ago.
The skies separated, the sunshine came through, and
You heard
everything
the
You know,
was.
angels singing from above.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
fun. They ended up. Adrian moved out to Connecticut after that. They had to work with
Dang.
Nick.
That's awesome, man. Very cool.
I still can't wrap my head around having that kind of influence on someone's life, to go through and say, just to have that much of an impact, to have them literally pick up and move across the country just to work with you for a little while. Like
That's
that,
pretty awesome.
it's mind blowing to me, just how much of an impact certain people can have on our lives.
Nick was going for it like right out of the gate. And
Was he?
his strive for like his technical strive to get better matched with his like actual depth of thought and the amount of shit that he actually cares. Yeah, yeah. There was a lot of people that would and should still move across country to go work down there, do guest spots. He's only gotten 15 years better. Speaking of Jeff Gogwe is seeking a new resident out with 26 Swords. And that opportunity isn't for everybody, but it's definitely for somebody.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine last night about, cohesive bodysuits and how you really want to kind of stick with like one individual artist if you really want everything to look cohesive, if you're planning on getting that much work done. And I tried to pull up Jeff Gogwe's Instagram page to kind of show some examples of, just
he's out.
cohesion in large scale tattooing, and I couldn't find it anywhere.
You got to go to his website, 26swords.com. He's off the Instagram.
Yeah, I noticed that when his account failed to pull up. I was like, oh, maybe he got rid of it.
Yeah, I text him every once in a while now still, and he let me know a couple weeks ago. I guess he sent up a blog around, and it's it's pretty awesome.
Why is he off Instagram?
Because it's the devil.
Right.
I mean, mostly it's because it changes people's motivations.
Yeah.
And ultimately, what you should do is you should go to his website, check out his blog. He outlines it pretty clearly. And when it starts becoming about a popularity contest and not about tattooing, right, or the quality of the art, or like I said, I don't want to speak for him. He speaks for himself in his blog.
I'll read that. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I can tell you for sure, man. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I've gotten rid of my Facebook about 6 months ago, and I'm teetering on the whole Instagram thing still too. So I'm almost there with you guys, man, for sure. It can be a distraction sometimes. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, it's designed to be a distraction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
hard.
Yeah, I missed the boat on Instagram completely. I just didn't take it seriously soon enough, and then I, fighting an uphill battle, even trying to get noticed, and so I've never really been a huge Instagrammer, and it shows in my Instagram account. It's very sporadic, and it doesn't have a good look to it, and I've just never really had the time of day. And it's interesting to me that I hear more and more people kind of turning away from it anyway. So.
There's different reasons, right? Like Jeff isn't like Jeff had traction, and he had a significant amount of followers there, right, in the whole 9 yards. But then there's also, I've done both. Like we've had hundreds of thousands of followers on our shop and whatnot, and again, mostly for me, like when tattooers are worried about their social media before their like search engine, optimization or placement, it's just like, you're feeding a beast that wants to chew you up and spit you out in 24 hours compared to the one that wants to feed you actual people are interested in what you're doing for, years to come.
Yeah.
With no haste, like drop of a hat, kind of drop it in.
Yeah, social media is very, but it's designed that way and it's not a secret and,
Right.
It's
What's
the
the
devil.
It's the devil. Foosball is for the devil. What's everybody working on today?
I'm finishing up
I am
my,
working on a painting.
well, yeah. Let's see how that one's coming along. That's awesome.
Yeah, okay.
That's awesome.
That's killer. Is that a person that you know?
My painting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, this is an old friend of mine. I've been struggling with this. I made the mistake of painting by electric light and then in daylight. So I keep getting caught between it looking too gray and to looking too pink. So I kind of had to leave it for a bit because it was doing my head in. But I'm going to start back on. I think I'm going to actually just go for something more like a grisaille and then put a warm wash over it, just to get out of that kind of rut of either being too pink or too gray.
Right.
Can you pick up your camera? Do you have any other art that you could show us? Or
here was one I did last time. I finished this one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's killer.
Yeah.
And what did you say the medium was?
It's all acrylic.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm new to acrylic and I'm really enjoying it. It used to all be oil painting because the guy that taught me the really old school. He's like a classic kind of oil school in the Rembrandt school. And actually I find the acrylics quite liberating because I can push and pull more and I quite enjoy that.
Yeah.
So you can make a mistake and then let it dry and go over it, rather with the oils, if you're wild, you just get a muddy mess if you keep correcting. So this is a bit more forgiving, I think.
Right. Yeah,
I got a request from the chat room from P. Painville. Can we see what Ricardo was doing?
Oh yeah. Let me show you.
And if you can you turn your camera sideways so that
it
fills out the camera like.
See what I can do.
And you're not wearing your headphones, are you?
No, sorry about that.
Your magic headphones. I knew right away.
You can dude. I know right away. You're not wearing what you're supposed to be wearing. Let's see here. I think I have them in my bag. I have to dig them up. I know, right? Tell me about it. I don't know if is it better with the light or without the light.
That's cool. That works.
Cool.
With the light, okay, cool. Yeah,
That's killer, man.
Thanks, dude.
Awesome.
I wanted to get my hands dirty today, man. So I thought I'd play around with some charcoals and I've really been into this idea of waves and water and stuff for a while now, man. And I'm trying to really just get that flow going, that movement, And I don't know. I've been really, really pumped about doing some drawings and start showing them to people and see if they're into getting it tattooed and stuff, man. And I figure the more I flush it out, the more of the ideal they'll be able to read of where I'm trying to take it. You know what I mean? So I've been playing around with a couple other sketches too. Like this kitsune.
Oh,
nice.
Sweet.
Thank you. I got this kitsune thing I've been working on. I'm really looking forward to doing that as a tattoo. I'm going to flush it out a little bit more to see. Here's one that's not quite finished, little skull and snake action. I think there's one more I got in here. There's another lion and snake kind of guy.
The Painville says, love it. Love the dynamic.
Thank you. Thank you, Painville. Charcoal, man. I love it. It's a fun way to kind of break out of the tablet every once in a while and just get dirty with it. Just have fun with it.
Do you have a placement in mind for that tiger piece?
This tiger piece?
Yes.
Back, outside leg. You know, the back I think would be awesome. On the outside thigh, if I was to kind of condense it in a little bit, would be pretty fun to kind of bring it down to the calf and stuff like that. You know, so
Nice.
yeah. But it'd be nice to kind of wrap it if I did do it on a leg, or maybe even an arm. I don't know. It just depends. But yeah. You thinking about
Or
getting
coming
it?
onto
Mark?
the shoulder.
You want to take a trip over to America, or I'll come to Scotland? How about that?
Come to
We
Scotland.
should do that, man. We should
Yeah.
do that.
Yes.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
I know a couple of tattooers in Scotland, and
Oh yeah.
yeah. Mikkel Ostberg, working over at I think it's White Tiger Tattoo.
Right.
Met him at the Puerto Rico show 2 Decembers ago. Nicest guy in the world. And he's like, yeah, man, come on up. You know, we'll get you tattooed and hang out for a while. And so ever since then, he's been trying to get me to come out there. So I'm like, maybe I should.
Yeah, you should.
Scotland's beautiful. Who's David Cordon's? He's got a beautiful shop there with
He
a
has.
pretty
Yeah.
solid crew, and that whole Edinburgh is so beautiful. I guess Hitler wanted to. He didn't bomb it, you know. So lots of Europe just got bombed. That was one of the spots where he avoided.
That's right.
So like,
I think it was just a bit too far north. We're right next to the water, and I think they kind of dropped a few bombs that missed and went in the water. So we were lucky.
ooh. But so much of the architecture is saved, and it's beautiful all around. Who else is the Stroms? Tom Strom and Jackie Strom. I mean, they're not Scottish, but
Yeah.
they're
They're here.
they're amazing. Both of their paintings, and the Tom Strom's been working on the pop-ups, like the pop-up cards.
Okay.
So I'm gonna find that. It's gonna be fun.
Didn't Elliot Wells relocate
Yep,
to
I believe he
Scotland
did.
as well?
I believe
I
wanted
think
to
he
work
might
with,
have.
Tom
Yes.
on Instagram. And then so Ethan, you're working on some Yoda action here.
Yeah, this is when I started a couple months ago, and just really haven't got around to finishing it, so I figured today would be a good day to finish it.
Sweet.
That's killer.
And where are you beaming in from again? This is your second time beaming in, but first time with art, right?
Yeah, from St. Louis.
Ah, cool. Yeah.
I'm in Normal, Illinois.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
my aunt used to live out there.
Okay.
I'm actually on the Illinois side. I just say St. Louis because it's the metro area, you know. So
Yeah, I gotcha. That's always a confusing bit, isn't it?
yeah, right. Well, it's right up on the border too. It's like whenever I was younger, I always used to say St. Louis, Illinois. You know, my mom used to always correct me that was wrong.
Right.
So
So if it was in Illinois, it's actually Charleston. Is that right?
excuse me.
Is it Charleston that's right outside of St. Louis, or is it?
So they have East St. Louis, which is like kind of a little ghetto area, but I live in it's called Granite City where I live.
Granite City. Okay, right on.
Yeah, it's a little steel town. So
Yeah. Cool, man. It's pretty down there, dude.
yeah, it's all right.
There's a place not too far from where is it? East, Giant City State Park. That place is incredible. I
Yeah,
love going out there. Yeah, Marion, all that stuff like that. Marion's nice.
yeah. I actually had to go out there a couple weeks ago. I was hoping to maybe stop by the Hyperspace studio, but I didn't have time to do anything. I don't even know if they're open right now.
Right.
I had to go. I had to go to a funeral. Actually, my grandpa had passed away. He caught COVID. And
Oh man,
it took it. Yeah,
sorry to hear
Glad
that.
to hear.
yeah. It is what it is. You know.
How old was he, if you don't mind me asking?
He was 80, and it's actually kind of interesting because my great grandma, his mom, is 105, and she still lives on her own. And
Wow,
That's
that's
nuts.
incredible, man.
I know she takes 2 pills a day and lives on her own. She's 105, so I
Dang.
know it's crazy.
Wow.
And do you do much traveling in the convention circuit, like obviously pre-COVID, or?
So I am in my first year of tattooing right now.
Okay, awesome.
My boss says I'm done with my apprenticeship, but I still think I have a little ways to go on my own learning curve, so.
Sure.
That's good. That's good, man.
Never stop learning, ever.
Right. Well, because for me, I had some traditional training in drawing and painting and stuff, so my designing was pretty much there. I just had to learn, the tattoo application. So I've got some of that going now, and so he just kind of let me do my own thing. But yeah, I would love to do some conventions and stuff. We've got one coming up on March 19th, I think, in Springfield, Missouri. That looks pretty cool. It's called like Carnival of Ink, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
That's coming right up.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, coming from experience, if you have never worked a show, do not work at the Philadelphia Tattoo Convention. It is so overwhelming.
Dude, it's like 3 floors, isn't it?
No, it's just one big one.
Okay.
If you were to walk up and down each aisle, you would walk the equivalent of almost 5 miles.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's
That's
unbelievably huge.
Troy's going to be on one of the tattoo convention interviews coming up.
Yeah, the guy, Troy, that runs it all, he's a native to Philadelphia. Like, this is, hometown for him. And so, like, a lot of the villain art shows get planned and all that stuff here in Philadelphia. And since Philly's his home show, he just goes all out for it. I mean, there were, I think, 2,000 artists and vendors at the last Philly show. I think it was something like that. Maybe it was 1,800. Just a ridiculous amount of people. And it's just really overwhelming and chaotic. And if you're not from the area and you're not used to how to deal with Philadelphia people, it can not be a very pleasant experience.
Yeah, I've been to Philly one time and it was kind of a rough experience.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Phillies?
Oh, not Phillies, Philadelphia in the U.S.
Yeah.
We're not exactly the most polite people, to say the least. We actually have a jail cell in our football stadium just for when people get out of control.
That's incredible, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Not one of our most proud facts, but we tend to be a certain way, a very hustle bustle, very, hey, if you're not going to get out of my way, I'm going to move you out of my way because I have things to do that are important kind of people. And that's why I don't live in Philadelphia. I live outside of Philadelphia where people are nice and polite and we have manners.
The accent there is pretty incredible too.
Yeah.
It's like a New Jersey, New York kind of thing. I'm not sure what it is. Dude. It's wild.
It's very local to Philadelphia. You will not find it anywhere else. And in fact, I've been called out by people in other countries and other states, and they'll give me this weird look where they're like, "You're from Philadelphia, aren't you?"
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah. How can you tell them? They're like, it's your accent. It's like,
Well, and then yours is like not even as strong as most of the other ones that I've heard from Philadelphia.
Right.
Either, right? So it's
I
incredible.
mean, that comes from moving around a lot as a kid.
Likewise, yeah.
So, I mean, you can't really pick up any kind of like a Texas twang or, a West Coast draw or anything like that when you listen to me talk, because it all kind of blended together.
Right.
Which I kind of like.
It's funny that you say that. I mean, I was the same way. I moved around quite a bit as a kid, dude, and I've lived in New York City. I've lived everywhere. I'm originally from Texas too, and it's funny because when I'm around here, people are like, "Are you from somewhere else than Illinois?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am," And then when I go down to Texas or something like that, they're like, "You're from like Chicago or something, aren't you?" I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't pick up any of the Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Exactly.
The Chicago.
Chicago. Let's make a baker's dozen there.
Yeah, but I also don't hear any of the New York in you.
Yeah, the part of Texas I'm from, it's much different than that southern drawl. You know what I mean? I'm more from like that southern, that real far southern east coast kind of tip. So Corpus Christi is the town that I was born in.
Oh, nice.
That's way,
Nice.
that's way down there. Yeah, Sparkling City by the sea, man.
Yeah, I'm a Houston baby, so I don't really
Okay.
have that going for me, but
We're like kind of neighbors.
by, you know, a couple 100 miles.
Exactly. Man, dude, we used to drive from Illinois to Corpus Christi all the time, and it would take us 12 hours as soon as we got from Texarkana down to Corpus Christi. It's like half the trip all on its own. It's incredible. It's a big state.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people actually realize how big Texas is.
Oh,
And then when you look at it on the map, when you compare Texas to Alaska, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's kind of like a small state, right?
right.
Because Alaska's just incredibly huge.
Yeah. I have some clients that are originally from around that area, man, and they come back every once in a while to get tattooed, and they love it up there. They have nothing but good things to say about Alaska.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very secluded and there's not a whole lot of people. So if you don't like people, it's a very good place to live.
Yeah, that's what they say. They love it for that. Like, he's a big fisherman and stuff like that, man. So that's all he does. He'll just go out and fish all day. It's incredible.
And the government will pay you to live there, so why not?
That's what he was telling me. He keeps trying to convince me to come up there. He's like, I'll keep you real busy. I got tons of people that want tattoos. I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to deal with more snow, dude.
Yeah. My friend Monty moved up there for a little while. She ended up getting married, and her husband was in the army, and that's where he got stationed, was on an army base up in Alaska. And she was up there, and I'd been tattooing her for quite a few years, and she's like, you have no idea the kind of market you're missing out on.
Right.
Like, you would make an absolute fortune here.
Right.
And I'm like, really? There's no tattooers up there? And she's like, none that are, I mean, there's a couple, but
Right.
you know, they're so spaced out, it's hard to get to them.
That's exactly what they were telling me. Yeah, they're very far and few in between. Incredible. Morag, do you guys have a lot of rural areas like out in Scotland where you're at? Is that where you stay? Like in a more
Yes, I stay rurally in between Edinburgh and Glasgow, but kind of south. Whereas if you go further north, it's like a wilderness, like a proper wilderness up there. There's no one lives there, well, hardly any, just around the edges. It's wild.
And what about the winters there? What are they like? Are they pretty harsh, or how does it work out for you?
This winter's been pretty bad, but in general, we have the jet stream comes from the south and comes up over Scotland. So it keeps the ground at least quite warm. So we don't get those Siberian winters that you get just a little bit further east. So we're lucky that way, but it's wet.
Okay. So you have a lot of lush kind of greenery in the wintertime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Waterfalls, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's not too bad. It's funny that you mentioned Siberian weathers, because that's the way it kind of is in Illinois sometimes, and it's just like, it's dank and wet and just gray. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, dude, and it freezes all the time. You know, it's terrible. But
yeah, I actually have an artist that I was going to tell you about. I don't know if you can do that kind of thing, Gabe, but she's a Scottish artist, and she does the landscape here really, really beautifully. And it's hard to get landscape artists that don't, you know, end up this stuff looking kind of boring or twee or something like that. But she has a really good way of doing it. And she paints these beautiful rock pools, and there's a very Scottish feel about it. I was wondering if you guys were interested in looking at her stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. How do I type it up?
Her name is Beth Robertson Fiddies.
I'll write that down.
Beth, TH, Beth
Robertson.
Yeah, and then Fiddies.
Got it.
How do you spell the last name?
Fiddies. DDIES, I think.
Oh yeah, look at this.
Oh yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, so she uses some really bright splashes of color, like for rock pools, and it's very expressive. And when you step back, it looks really
That's
exact. But when you're close up to it, there's actually even little bits of paper stuck to it and collages and so on. It's incredible.
Wow. Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
like almost photorealistic when you look at a small screen on it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really not. It's really rough. It looks like a lot of it's done with a palette knife and so on. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, there you go. Look at that. Look at those strokes, man. Yeah, that's like capturing painting entirely. Like it's essence. You know what I mean? So that's great.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah, look at
And
that.
they're big, these pieces.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm. And she captures that because she's from one of the islands in Scotland, one of the Outer Hebridean Islands, and so a lot of her work is these amazing colors and this energy.
Wow.
I thought you'd like it. I'm glad you could bring it up.
oh
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah, check it out. I can spend ages looking at her work.
Yeah, I can see why. Nice.
Yeah, but it gives you a feeling for the Scottish landscape as well. You were asking about it, especially up north where it's really quite wild. There's a lot of wind and rain and kind of exposed rock. So that's what it looks like.
Killer.
Yeah. That's nice.
Oh,
That's a virtual gallery. Huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Gabe,
Yeah.
I like this gallery.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You've seen the 3D one that we're working on, right?
Are you working on a virtual art show? I thought that was a great idea.
Someone else's platform. It doesn't have like the textures necessarily like this in the background, but we could potentially do it. This is definitely pretty cool.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That makes me want to sit down with a glass of scotch and just stare at that virtual gallery, man.
Yeah. Looks beautiful.
Yeah. It's killer.
Yeah, I've always been more of a tequila guy, but
Okay.
Oh, yes.
yeah, like
I like scotch.
Yeah, I've had several different kinds of scotch. I'm not a very big fan of the very peaty kind of
Oh yeah.
kind of like that big peat taste that you get with certain scotches.
Yeah. That's why you gotta
not
get
a
into
big
the
fan of
McAllens
that.
and stuff.
But you know, I do like a nice Glenmorangie and
Oh yeah, that's my favorite.
That's
Yeah.
the one, man. That's the one.
It's Glenmorangie actually.
I wondered how you pronounced it.
Glenmorangie, yes.
Glenmorangie. Yeah, that the sherry cask one is like one of my favorites for sure.
Oh, in the purple bottle.
Yeah, got it.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah, it's so good. It's like
Yeah.
candy almost even. But it's
It is.
candy.
Yeah, it's like eating a cake or something.
Right, Glenmorangie, huh? And then you have what is it, McAllen? McAllen's pretty good too.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a kind of middle of the road one. That's a good one.
What's one that's more local for you?
It's more a Highland thing. We've got a few distilleries here in the lowlands, but I think to get the really good ones, you'd need to go a little bit further north, like in the mountains where they use the water there. It's great.
Okay.
We make the kind of export ones, the kind of, and the blended whiskies, not the most interesting ones.
Yeah, ship them out.
Yeah.
Keep the good stuff. Keep the good stuff for you guys, huh?
Yeah.
Definitely gonna have to make a trip then.
Yeah.
Jason, you
we
ready?
should get another drunk art critique going and just have different scotches and
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. We'll call it Scotch.
There we
Yes.
go. I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
down in my belly.
Brilliant.
It's cool, man. Let's get on the plane. Jason, you ready?
Tell me when. I'll book the tickets.
Let's do it. Are we allowed in?
I've been looking at tickets to Scotland for a while, so trust me, I've done my homework.
Oh shit.
You don't want to try to call my bluff on traveling, man. That is the wrong thing to do.
You're
Because
like,
I will
"Don't
have
threaten me
tickets
with a
booked
good
by the
time."
end of the week.
Nice, dude. Let's go. I'm ready.
What dates are you looking at?
You want to go this weekend? Let's go this weekend.
We're not letting anyone in at the moment because of COVID.
Well,
We'll just-
that's no good.
Yeah, we'll stand at the airport and just knock on the glass. Let us in.
Yeah.
We'll just like smush our faces up to it, like
Yeah.
I think I can see something.
Yeah.
It's a tree.
It'd be like an ET party or something, man.
We've been doing a lot of kind of Googling interesting places and doing Street View. We've been to Australia and, Bali and places like that. It's kind of virtual traveling.
Yeah.
Just good
The
fun.
Venice live cams is where I end up.
Yeah.
Venice Live.
The Venice live cams, they have like a half a dozen they go throughout, and it's nice and empty for the most part.
Yeah, they've since the
So-
COVID they've had fish in their water again in Venice for the first time in ages. They can see them.
Yeah,
Wow.
I really do want
Yeah.
to be one of the first run to get over there. Like as soon as like we can, and I can afford it with a family, we're going right
Yeah.
there.
I can imagine.
awesome.
And it's travel.
Jerry P says, coming from Newfoundland, that artwork looks very familiar. So well done. Wow.
That's
and
true.
then-
That would be similar. Yeah.
Yep. And then Bruno says these virtual galleries are wild. And Bruno, we have one that we're working on with for the reinventing artwork. So if you send over some high quality print, high resolution images, we'll eventually get it together. I'm trying to find an apprentice to put it together. It's not like rocket science, but it's just a lot of collecting 30 or 40 images with descriptions and titles isn't super trivial. But it is it's something that's pretty cool. Let me show it. I wonder if I could show it on the thing here. Got like a demo. Oh yeah, this will work actually. I'm gonna share my screen. So this is all none of the artwork is like credited. But here, well, hey, we're going to go to a different part of the app today. We're going to go to the art lab. And inside of the art lab, we have our public exercises, collab labs, some art jams, videos, hosting a drawing group, instructions, and a 3D art gallery demo. Demo being the operative word here. But it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Here.
Yeah, right on.
And so you can see here, like, obviously I'm not getting my scaling right to be impressive, but this is a similar-ish, this came from the collab lab, from the bio group.
Yeah, nice.
That's really nice.
So we could like screw around with the size of these things and such, so that, well, like I said, like this other one that's way over here, it's actually, I plopped in that little tiny spot there, but if every one of these walls was like, pretty nuts. And they have other, I guess, I don't know how to find the authoring tools to run through here, but I think this is Heinz and a couple people. But like that technology exists. Just, like you said, I mean, I could do it now. It's just a matter of putting like 3 hours-ish into it, which would be pretty cool. Though.
3 hours to do that?
It didn't take me 3 hours to do this. This probably took me like a half hour. But yeah, I mean, basically loading in 30 to 40 high-resolution pictures, titling them right, getting the descriptions, links out to appropriate places, putting them into this virtual format, and attaching each of the paintings to the appropriate spots, and then sizing them there. My guess is that to do with it would be probably a 3-hour endeavor to. I mean, it could be 3 hours just to follow up with 10 tattooers sometimes.
True.
That wasn't a dig. That was just being realistic about budgeting of time.
I was going to say, I know you're busy doing all sorts of stuff, so for you to be able to find that kind of a block of time, that's got to be difficult.
Well, that's why it's got like 5 pictures up. I'm like, this is cool. We can do this. And then Heinz sent me some pictures. Emmy Black Sheep sent me some pictures. I was hoping that they would send me 30 pictures, but I got a handful from each. So it looks like it will have to end up being a group show. But ultimately, we have to wait until someone I find somebody that has a couple extra hours to do something like this. There's not like a massive financial reward coming back from whoever's curating the 3D gallery show for nothing. But it's cool and worth doing, so I'm happy. It'll happen one way or another. It'll happen.
It's definitely awesome. Yeah, speaking of different places to travel to, has anyone here ever been to Helsinki?
Oh.
Yes.
What did you think?
I was only there for a short time, but it's nice. It's very close to Russia and Estonia and Latvia, so it's got a very Baltic feel to it.
Okay. Yeah, I was.
Nice.
So I'm a member of a Facebook group, and there was someone that posted that they have a permanent position for a tattooer open up in Helsinki, and I reached out to the guy, just talking to him about it. I'm like, I'm not about to move there, but I wouldn't mind coming to visit and maybe doing a little guest spot. But I don't know a whole lot of people that have traveled out to that part, so I'm always looking for feedback on different parts of the world. What's the market like? Is it beautiful? Are the people nice? If I get wasted and end up passing out on the sidewalk like I did in Ireland, is that going to be an issue? Yeah, and the
Not in
cops were
Finland,
great.
no.
They picked me up and helped me get back to my hotel, and they're like, "Oh, you're a Yank, you're fine."
I think the drinking culture in Finland is fairly similar to the Irish one. They like to go for it. Mm.
I like to hear that.
Go for it.
I don't cut loose very often, but when I do, it's usually pretty bad.
Okay. Yeah, my great aunt had this prejudice against Finnish people. She thought that they all drank all day, and then in the evening a cart would come round and pick them all up and take them to the hospital.
Sounds like an all-inclusive stay.
Right? You mean we get free transportation back to the hotel?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Well, I think the Finnish people are
package I have to get.
Yeah. There's plenty of money in Finland, and the people are really nice. It's quite a modern society.
Cool.
Awesome.
You'll like it.
That's the kind of feedback that I like to hear. So I'm talking to them. I might head out there and do a week-long guest spot in Helsinki over the summer. Because when I reached out to the guy, he's like, "Yeah, it's -30 here right now, so you may want to wait until it warms up a bit."
Yeah. No, you'll love it. You'll love it.
Yeah.
I've got another buddy that's over there, PJ Hans. He ran a convention over there in Finland. Firing up his info if I could find it.
They have some crazy names, the Finnish people.
Yeah, he's not normal either. He's a good guy, but.
Well, are any of us actually normal?
Yeah. Well, I am, because I live
except
in
for
normal.
Ricardo, because you live in normal.
That's what I was gonna say. I've been indoctrinated into it. What can I say?
Yeah, I would still not put you in the classification of normal, but
Right. Exactly.
you're a tattooer, so by default you're not.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and I can tell you a lot of people that have been like, "What the hell, dude?" So we're good. What is normal, man?
I don't know. See, I would never want to be normal though. I like being the one person that just kind of like stands out. That's like, yeah, I'm gonna do something different.
Right.
Yeah, I used to be like that, but I think as I've got older, I prefer to be a bystander.
Yeah, just kind of like sit back and check it all out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Likewise.
Maybe have a little chuckle.
Yeah. Oh, you're headed down that road now, are you? Okay. Have
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Enjoy.
Like, quick,
Happens to us all.
Yeah. Yeah, I just turned 43 in October, so I'll be 44 this year.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
A pup.
I'm a pop.
Yeah.
Shit, if he's a pup, I'm not gonna tell you how old I am.
Be dirty 30 next month.
30,
yeah?
Nice.
What are you going to do for your birthday? Look out the window.
Yeah, I've been asking a lot of people, does it hurt to turn 30, you know?
No, it doesn't, man. I love turning 30. When I turned 30, I was like, cool, I can do all the stuff I was doing in my 20s, only I can get away with it now.
Right. Yeah, that tattoo convention is going to be right around my birthday, so maybe that'll be something I'll do. It sounds like a lot of fun. It'll be the first one that I've gone to.
Oh, dude,
Nice.
they are incredible, man.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Yeah, I miss tattoo conventions. The one in Edinburgh has been postponed for the second time because it was meant to be at the end of March, and that's when it all hit last year. And they said, oh, it might be in September, and that of course didn't happen. And so now it looks like it would have been, it's going to be cancelled again.
All right, what's the situation with the restaurants and the bars and stuff out there?
All closed.
Everything, huh?
Yeah,
Oh.
all closed. Yeah, it's been going on for quite a while, but we'll get there.
Do you guys have a period where you were kind of allowed to get back out again, or?
Got no idea when. Well, it'll be staggered. I think that they're talking about letting the kids go back to school soon, but you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Tattooists, we're kind of back of the queue when it comes to going back to work.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not essential services, and we're just a little bit too close to our customers. So, yeah, we'll have to wait.
Yeah, that's the way it was here for a while too. Like I think I didn't work for 2 months, and it's nothing compared to what you got going on. So I understand.
Yeah, I'm wondering how many people are just going to get used to not working. They might resent having to go back.
Right.
It's been going on for long enough. Start to feel a bit lazy.
Yeah. You gone stir crazy yet?
A little bit. But I've got a lot of animals to look after, so I'm actually quite busy.
Right.
So I usually do about 2 jobs, and now I've just got 1, so that suits me at the moment.
That's cool.
You know, not to sound anecdotal, but it is kind of crazy that I talked to shit tons of tattooers all around the world, and nearly all of the ones that ended up catching the bug did it so because either the kids go to school or their partner's a teacher,
Right.
or one of them is a teacher at a university as well as a tattooer, and you know, it wasn't the tattooing part that got it. It was definitely the being in a room with lots of people talking.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, masks are definitely, a thing for me here for sure, man. One person at a time now. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have my own studio, so I can kind of control that environment a little bit more. But definitely just one person at a time. People get kind of upset about it. I'm like, hey, man, that's just where we're at right now. You know what I mean? So
there's no getting upset. Yeah, it's so crazy that happens.
Yeah.
Another friend of mine was talking about how a tattooer would never have cancellations or people would get back to them immediately, and they're like, okay, well, I'm doing one person a day with masks, and then all of a sudden, wait a minute, how come they didn't get back to me? Like, really? It's just fucking whatever. But everyone will get used to it, and we'll move on. And a couple of years from now, it'll be like, okay, let's try to make smarter decisions so we don't end up in that situation again.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to leave. It was nice speaking to you all.
Absolutely,
Likewise.
as always.
Always
Thank
a
you very
pleasure.
much.
Take it easy,
See
Mark.
you next week. See you next
Peace.
week.
All right. That's crazy, man. Been a long time for them.
Yeah, it's a wicked long lockdown for sure.
Yeah.
And they're doing it like where they're really, I guess I don't know what it's like in Scotland, but there's definitely places in the world where they're like, lockdown isn't like going home and getting your family sick. It's like you go to a spot where all the sick people go so that you don't get anybody else sick.
Wow.
I mean, Vietnam and some of those places, they have like 0 cases now, right? Oh, another shop that's looking is a shop, a buddy of mine in New Zealand.
Nice.
And
Really?
yeah, really. Wow. He's Jolly Roger tattoo, I believe. If shoot me, well, it'll pop up in one of these help wanted sections pretty soon. But yeah, no, he's in New Zealand. He just lost 1 person, 2 people maybe. And
Jason, did you hear that? 2 people.
Yeah, I'm thinking we'll head out there, do like a couple of week-long guest spot and check it out first and, see how it goes.
I'd be down, man. I really would be down to move out of this place and get down somewhere like that for sure.
It's, an opportunity that, well, New Zealand, yeah, it's pretty, clearly a sick opportunity. New Zealand's relatively difficult to get into, but I think that, like I said, the shop owner was, ready to start importing somebody if he needed. Yeah, what a beautiful spot there is. The opportunity to work with Jeff, and all the crew in Grants Pass is pretty awesome. Grants Pass is not New Zealand. It's definitely Wild Westy, Oregon, but Oregon's beautiful too. I do miss that place.
Yeah, it's gorgeous out there where he's at. It's beautiful, man.
Did I hear you say that? Did you do a paint workshop out there at one point, or?
Yeah, I did. I did a painting workshop with him 1 year. I think it was in 2000 and, man, I think I want to say like 7 or 8, somewhere around there. It was pretty incredible. His shop was beautiful. It's a big space.
Oh, it's out of control.
Yeah, I think it was just him at that time. I'm not sure. And but it was big open space, man. The surrounding area was gorgeous. The mountains. It's like they had all kinds of just everything. Like the topography out there was incredible because you have mountains, you got some forests, you got a little bit of dry spots here and there. It was pretty radical, man. I had a good time out there.
Absolutely.
And to be able to sit in the studio and have him kind of show us his the way he paints and everything, like his process and everything was fucking incredible. So.
And it's one thing I've always been fascinated about is just, and I think it's always been one of my biggest draws into the world of tattooing. And I think it's what, what I really tried to focus on for a very long time was just, how do people create? What is their process to create? Because everyone's got different processes and different methods that they like and, different things that they enjoy doing and different ways to go about doing it, but what separates one person from the next? Like, for example, with what you're working on, you can see how you're going through with like a lot of loose, rough, directional lines and shapes. And then you're going to start to slowly build and block in value, really defining, really toning down, and really getting that detailed process down.
Yeah.
Some people would go through and they might, coat the whole paper with charcoal at first, a very light gray, and then that'll be their mid-tone, and then they go through and they add and subtract from there. That's another process. Some people might go through and start out with like all of these different circles and you don't really know what the circles are. And then as they go through and draw more circles and more circles and more circles, you start to see these things coming out and developing,
Right.
So looking at people's individual processes has always just been mind blowing to me. You know, I watched Anthony Tex paint live on Instagram last night. That was incredible. You know, one of the most like just unbelievable things I think I had ever seen. You know, watching him work was awesome. Well,
Yeah,
once
Tex
again, he
is-
got the
the whole
Konami
crew's
code for
fucking-
doing good tattoos. So
That's killer. Yeah, I think you're right, man. I think it is fascinating to kind of see, and like I said, man, being able to talk to him about where he was coming from with that process, and you know, just finding out at the time that he just wanted to get in the painting. He just wanted to start it and start getting his images across. You know what I mean? And then being able to sit in a room like he was explaining to just, what is my voice? You know what I mean? I think that was one of the things that I took away. That was the coolest part of it, is that not only in the process are you learning how to actually paint, but you're kind of discovering what it is that your voice is and like what it is that you're trying to say, you know, especially if you're not sure what that might be to begin with. You know what I mean? I think there are some individuals out there that immediately know what it is they're trying to convey to the viewer. So I think a lot of times, especially, and I don't want to sound like negative about it or anything like that, but with tattooing, a lot of times it's very illustrative to begin with. But now we're getting into this realm of art that's starting to be brought into, you know, for the past 20 years or so, being brought into the tattooing industry. I think more and more people are starting to discover that there is a voice that comes along with the imagery of the tattoo. You know, like there's this unspoken kind of feel to it, especially with Jeff's stuff. You know, he was one of the earlier ones that I think I saw that kind of voice, you know, coming.
Yeah, I mean, I would say arguably that's one of the most important, you know, and that's kind of what I was referring to with Nick Baxter, like right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Like he had real strong things to say, and not only was he always technically trying to, you know, better himself and has a, you know, a mechanical nature of, you know, seeking a better application process, but like, you know, he cared about animal rights, he cared about human rights, you know, he gave a shit about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so he was able to attract people who actually gave a shit about those things, you know, and so they were stronger, you know, not stronger clients, but they were a particular type of client that was really motivated, highly motivated client, you know, as opposed to someone who's, you know, not necessarily getting the tattoo for the same reasons. And which is okay. People can get, you know, tattoos to, you know, be a rite of passage, and it's, you know, more important about the tattoo than it is about the artistry of the tattoo. That's cool. But like what Nick is about or has been about is, you know, yeah, using his voice and in the voice of his clients.
Yeah.
And,
and it resonates too. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. It's as silly as it might sound, but you drop that pebble in the water and it makes those rings. You know what I mean? The rings kind of, you know, they come out from the center, and then you drop another pebble in another spot of the same puddle, and it starts to resonate together. You know, they're coming together.
Well, it's not even silly. It's scientific.
Yeah, and you know, you do that and you start conveying this idea, especially with your artwork, and people pick up on it, man, and they are attracted to it. You know what I mean? And it's not like you're doing it with that intention of, I'm going to attract this certain clientele. It's just, that's your voice. That's what you care about. And it shines through without you even having to say a fucking word about it.
You know, you could tell, you know, and I'll say this for myself as much as for other people that I've observed, like you could tell when someone's influence is beyond their, you know, maturity level to communicate.
Right.
Especially in tattooing, you know, and especially with the, you know, the insta famousy, and not even insta famousy. Like again, Nick, you know, people have been able to accelerate their career, you know, right from the get go with tattooing. The point is, you can be very enabled very quickly, you know, early in life. You start tattooing when you're 15, 16, 17, you know, start really doing it for real by the time you're 18, 19, you know, by the time you're 22, 23, 24, you might actually have a shot at making a $500, $1,000 day. And, you know, that not most, you know, people in their 20s are, I mean, I'm not even saying most, I have no idea how many are. I'm just saying that if you're not equipped to deal with that level of responsibility, it's not even about the dough, it's more about, you know, or even the followers, you might not even, you know, you might have the influence without the dough because of the way that the world's working, which could lead to dangerous communications or miscommunications. And but yeah, like sometimes you have to keep it all. You don't have to keep it all. It's frustrating sometimes watching people, do and say things you know they're going to regret just due to, time. People do have to learn things for themselves, just like most of us have had to.
Yeah. Some life lessons right there, man. Incredible. Yeah, I like messing with charcoals and stuff like that from time to time. I really like kind of diving in and getting your hands dirty, like I said, man. And it's a lot of fun. And there's a lot of, I think with charcoals, there's a lot of process, like Jason was saying, with it kind of comes through with oil painting too, where you are laying down that softer tones and you're kind of building up the shapes and everything like that. And really, I think what I like about it is that it helps establish that foreground and background and midground a little bit easier. And it kind of brings a different dynamic to like an image, you know what I mean? So I enjoy this part of the process for sure. This is like one of those things where I could totally get lost sometimes and just not even realize that I haven't spoken or said anything or for several hours and feel entirely content.
Nice.
That's what I love doing, man. I love just getting lost.
Yeah.
In an image, and just next thing you know, you look up and you're like, holy shit, 8 hours have gone by.
Yes, dude. Yes.
That to me is like the apex of my inner peace, and like, just everything that I strive for in life. I just feel totally at peace whenever that happens.
Yeah. Likewise.
I'm gonna take all of this and go in a completely
Cool.
different
So what are you guys thinking about for time here? It's quarter after. Do you want to go on for like another 15 minutes or?
That's good with
Sounds
me.
good. Sounds good to me, man. Got a couple appointments today.
Yeah, what you working on?
Today I'll be working on this lady lost her pet a few months back, and she's getting the paw print and the heart and stuff like that. So some kind of filler things today. This kid's getting the mandala and the city skyline a little bit later on this evening. I try to keep it, if I do more than one tattoo a day, I keep them like, earlier in the AM, 10 a.m. and then, later in the evening about 5 p.m. and stuff like that. So,
yeah, cool.
And I try not to work more than like, 3 or 4 days a week at the most. So
that's got to be nice.
It's fun, man. It's fun. It allows me to kind of do this a little bit more often, and it's comfortable. It's comfortable. So I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's the only downside to the studio that I'm working at now is that we open up at 1. We don't close till 9, and it's 5 days a week.
Yeah.
It's more of a boutique kind of custom studio, which is great because that's what I primarily do now. But it's just one of those situations where it's like I wouldn't mind taking someone a little bit earlier, and starting my day around 10 a.m. every day, and then leaving around 6.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing that. Or even if I stayed a little bit later, I would still get home by 9.
Yeah. And honestly, it's invigorating. You know what I mean? It allows me to, get up earlier in the morning and get to the gym and stuff like that. Kind of like focus on myself and the rest of my day, and kind of organize my the next few hours of what I'm going to do to get the rest of the day started. The clients seem to love it. Like the clientele that I have now, closer to my age, a little bit, about 10 or so years younger most of the time. And they love it. I mean, they get to come in. I have a real quiet studio. It's, it's a smaller space, man. So it makes the overhead is the prime thing. You get a little bit of a lower overhead. You get a nice quiet space, man, and it helps everybody just relax, yourself included, because like I said, I don't have to worry about this big volume of people coming in, you know what I mean? So it helps out a lot. They love it. They feel real relaxed, man. It lets them sit easier. In turn, it helps me sit easier, because I don't know about you, but when a person's kind of starting to wiggle around and they're starting to feel kind of pain, you want to take a couple breaks. It's like, let's relax a little bit more here for a second.
right?
Let's get out of this hastiness that's starting to kind of fill the room. This energy is kind of starting to fill the room of like this. Let's get this finished. But for the better part, man, they're able to sit here and just chill out. And especially during this COVID thing, dude, it's been. I gotta be honest with you, man. It's like my sanctuary right now, where I kind of come in. The rest of the world is this crazy place, and I come in here, and it's pretty chill. So I dig it. You have to come check it out sometime, Jason.
Like I said, man, as I mentioned yesterday, I'm gonna drive down, kidnap Bruno, and we'll make our way out there. He might not be very happy with me when I do that, but I mean, chloroform in a burlap sack does wonders.
Right on. Yeah, just let me know around an idea. At the very least, give me like a rough estimate of like a timeline here, so I can get ready for that.
I mean, you're not too far away from Guy, right?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm about 2.5 hours north of him, closer to pretty close to 3 hours or so.
Okay, because I was talking to Guy a couple of weeks ago, and might make a trek out there and go and visit him late spring, early summer.
Yeah.
So when I do that, man, I'd be more than happy to swing by for a day or two and just like hang out and draw and paint and do some live webcasting.
That'd be great, man.
Do some gap filler on me or.
Oh fuck yeah, I'd be down. Count me in.
I got both butt cheeks open.
Oh, dude, you said the magic word. Let's go.
I know you've just been wanting to stare at my butt, so I figured I would indulge you a little bit.
It's like you're in my mind.
Yeah, well, great minds think alike, so.
There you go. It might be pretty fun, man. I mean, that sounds like an interesting time. Maybe we could all just kind of, do it together and stuff, like get a little road trip or something going, man. That'd be pretty fun.
Dude, that would be amazing. The reinventing road trip.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, that'd be a killer time.
Yeah, and we'll just chronicle everything and do some live webcasting as we're on the road. And
yes, dude.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, I'm down.
Dude, man, maybe we'll hike it over to like New Zealand as well.
Oh man.
From there, fly over to Europe, and then head home. Do like a month-long tattoo reinventing road trip.
It's like the honeymoon I've always wanted.
Ooh, don't tease me with a good time.
You don't threaten me with a good time.
I'll turn it into the honeymoon you've always dreamed of.
That's what I'm saying. Count me in.
Yeah, I'm all about it, man. I really am. Like, and it's the one thing that I have to, usually caution people about is like, don't tempt me with traveling, because people have tried to call my bluff on it before, and they're like, yeah, let's go to Ireland, like sometime in March. And it's like, all right. And I'll get back to them the next day with like a list of tickets, dates, times, hotels, like, and they're like, oh,
well, I got stuff I gotta do.
Yeah. It's like, I wasn't thinking like this soon. And it's like, well, then why did you say that?
Yeah, dude, don't say it if you don't mean it.
Exactly.
Oh, I mean it, man. I'm ready. I've been dying for this kind of like interaction with the community, man, with the tattoo community for a long time, dude. Like I've done a few little guest spots here and there, and I've done a few tattoo conventions here and there, man. But this is the kind of interaction that I've always kind of wanted to have, like everybody sitting down, drawing, getting to know each other and shit, man. It's a blast, dude. So
you got your passport, or?
Yeah, I got a passport.
Yeah, I mean Brussels in November is officially
you mention that, Gabe, the more and more I want to look into getting a booth there.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's
like, I don't know if I would want to work at it or if I would just want to go and like hang out.
Yeah, both of them are fun. I mean, I never tattoo at a convention, so all I've ever done is hung out and made future business. Although this time I'll be probably doing a little bit more producing of of the events. We got a couple of slamming seminars. I guess it's confirmed. Yeah, Nick Baxter and Ivana are coming over to do seminars. And
nice.
Yeah, it should be. It's pretty cool. Brussels is. I went over the convention a couple of years ago. I had a great time. I actually hung out with a guy from Cheyenne. Conrad, who passed about a year ago, 2 years ago maybe. But I'm really glad I went over because it was a really good time with him. Went up to dinner and saw the Peon statue, and it's like a fantastic European city. Yeah. And the convention's cool. It's pretty big. They definitely take inspiration from like the old Lincoln Iron shows, and there's like hot rods and.
That's killer.
Oh shit! And that's going on in November, right?
It's November, so it feels like by November I should be happily vaccinated and can avoid any sort of quarantining that's necessary.
Yeah.
But
November, Brussels. I'm gonna write that down, man.
in the third week
Yeah,
of
it looks like a
October,
really
we're
nice
going to probably
lineup,
do
too.
some. They usually have a pretty slim set of artists. Yeah. I think the third week of October we might do something at Jiminy Peak too, something pretty informal. Because I'm not planning anything formal right now. But that's at a yeah, it's probably like maybe like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday. Kind of keep it on tattooers' days off, so they don't necessarily have to like, if any, when people are tattooing, they don't have to like. Again, it's not going to be a tattoo convention where like people are showing up to get tattooed and everyone's making buku bucks. It'll be like we have a ski resort in the middle of nowhere, and if you want to show up and share something, that's cool. But like we're not charging for nothing. Well, again, I guess we got to figure it all out. But like the plan right now is just to kind of set the dates, and whoever wants to show up and share something can.
Yeah.
Maybe as it gets closer and as it opens up, we might get some pipes and drapes and do something else. But like obviously right now, it's near impossible to plan anything. It feels like again when I was talking about the convention that's happening next weekend or a couple weekends from now, I'm like, whoa, okay, yeah. I mean, but we have not most. We have a lot of people traveling and coming in, and a lot of international people. So just we have to wait for quarantining things to die down, which it seems like it is.
It does. I was gonna say, I think I took a look at the numbers a couple days ago, and it seems like it's starting to kind of regulate a little bit more.
Let's see if it stays.
Yeah, likewise, man.
I mean, as the weather gets better and people are getting vaccinated and more people have had it and all of the asymptomatic people have spread it to lots of more asymptomatic people that, we'll see. I guess the other forces at work are there's a lot more resources being put into vaccinating instead of testing. So I guess it's really like the percentage of tests, right? Would be the real test, would be the real
Okay, yeah.
piece of data to keep track of as far as trends are concerned.
I think you might be right.
Because anytime I do ask Europe, I'm like, hey, can we book something or do something? They're all like, it's fucking crazy, dude. Are you kidding me? I'm like, I know it's crazy now, but in the future. And they're like, fucking talk to me in a month or two. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been over in that Brussels area, man. I've always heard good things about it. I'd really like to check that out. And then this other event that you're talking about where there's no real tattooing or anything like that, we're just hanging out. That sounds super fucking fun.
Yeah, maybe I'll
definitely down for that.
close out with my my vision for it and see how it rolls. But that would be something like the Paradise BYOB.
Yes,
right? Bring your own brains, bud,
Bring your own
beer,
brush.
or berries.
Yeah.
Brushes.
Bring your own brushes.
Bring your own brushes. There we go. Yeah, exactly.
I'd roll up there with back in my previous life when I was working in IT, the group of people and I that, I was working with at the time, we all decided, oh yeah, let's go out and do like a painting with a twist. Yeah, that'll be a great time. Yeah, let's all go and do it. So we signed up for it, and, I roll up and I'm sitting down and I'm like, all right, cool. What's our image? All right, cool. Let's do that. And, I throw on my own smock, right? And I take out my brush roll and I'm just like, all right, I need this, 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 and this. Take those out, put those down, roll the rest of them up, throw them in my back pocket. From my other back pocket, I take out my flask of tequila and I'm sitting down and I'm like, all right, cool. When do we start? And the person that was leading it was going around and checking everyone. And she came by and looked at me, saw my brush roll and my smock, and she's like, you know what you're doing. Don't listen to me. Just, you know what you're doing. Just do it. I'm like, all right, cheers. And I got so hammered while I was painting. It was ridiculous. And I ended up just making a total mess on the canvas. And I'm like, I don't even care anymore, man. Like, we got to use the big brush now. I'll use the big brush.
What is art, man? What is art?
This is my art. This is my creation. It's inspired by what we're supposed to paint, but
Yeah.
I did my own thing with it.
I just took
It's
it-
abstract. You can't understand my art.
Yeah. I call it heaven by the dashboard lights.
I call it thank God for good tequila.
There you go.
Thank God that was on a Friday too, because I was absolutely on my deathbed the next day from getting that wasted.
Dude, I can't do it anymore, man. That'll knock me down for days afterwards. Dude. It's crazy.
Well,
Well, if you want to give it a shot, March 9th, Drunk Critique, 8 o'clock Eastern.
March 9th?
March 9th, yeah, I guess I got to get that schedule to put up on the thing and everything. It's the second Tuesday, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's over. Go ahead.
You guys want to let people know how to find you, and then we'll close it out and catch up again probably tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Jason.
cool. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jason Leeser. I work at a studio called the Inkwell Tattoo in Southampton, PA. I'm about 30 minutes north of Philadelphia. Do a lot of large-scale custom designs, a lot of floral work, black and gray or color. I love to do color stuff, but you know, a lot of people like black and gray, and I do plenty of that as well. You can always find me on Sunday afternoons at 1 p.m. I lead the Reinventing Drawing Group on Sundays. Feel free to stop by. Feel free to drop me a note in the Reinventing the Tattoo app as well. Or you can reach me on Instagram at Philly Inc. I reply to most people, you know, as long as it's not some kind of like a spam thing. I'll be more than happy to get back to you, and I can talk your ear off about just about any topic you can imagine. I'd like to thank Gabe and Ricardo as well. Thank you guys both very much. It's always a pleasure getting together with you guys. You know, just talking and sharing information and, you know, having everyone try to improve themselves. It's always a great time.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, man. My name is Ricardo Sertivant. I work in Normal, Illinois at a tattoo shop, private studio called Candor Tattoo. You can get a hold of me on Instagram at Candor Tattoo, Candor Tattoo. Yeah, I enjoy a lot of black and gray, a lot of colors. I've always felt like was just kind of scary to me, man, but I've been getting into it lately. But if you guys want to get a hold of me, say what's up. I'm always with Jason, usually on Sundays and stuff, man. Hanging out with Gabe and Jason. So just hit us up. Talk to you later.
Right on.
Awesome.
Take care,
Well, hey,
guys.
thanks again, everybody, and we will catch up with everyone. Let's see, 7 o'clock tonight is the Art Jam with Renee Little, just before the 9 o'clock